Hello all, welcome back Watchman 97. I've just been thinking about some videos to do really, and thinking about where to start, etc. And obviously with the times we're in, I think primary objective goal next to watching, obviously, in the sense of Watchman on the wall. If you see any troubles arising, or if you see your family or your friends or whatever in danger, then you should say something. And if you don't, then their blood's on your hands, as it says in the scripture. And it also makes sense, doesn't it? If you see someone's house across the road and you see someone's trying to set it on fire, but you don't say anything about it, well, you played a part in it, isn't it? You could have saved those individuals, right? So in that same sense, how do we get people from the burning world, as we might define it as, the world's, depending on how you look at it, it's in trouble? And how do you raise awareness to them? It's like that analogy I used with the burning house across the road or whatever. If you ring them up and you shouting across the road, "Hey, someone's out there trying to set your light on fire, your house on fire," then and they're like, "Oh, whatever, nonsense," you know what I mean? And they just dismiss it and turn the volume on the TV up, then I don't know, obviously you did your bit, right? But anyway, so I was just thinking about how do you get that information across in the best way, right? In the analogy I used, I could have taken a picture and then email it to them and be like, "Look who's outside your house burning it." You know what I mean? It's like there's always a way to get the message across. It's just, well, it depends on the other side, right? The person could be like, "Well, I can't be asked to get off my chair or my sofa and go and stop that individual from setting the house on fire." And it's like, well, okay, that's fair enough. At least you'd be warm. At least you'd be warm while you're watching TV, right? So there's different ways people can process information, obviously, right? As I discussed with my friends, Steve, Jim, I don't know how many others I have, but the more friends you have, the more problems you have. Anyway, yeah, even when I'm in discussion with them, right, and I'm like trying to get a point across, or they're trying to get a point across to me, it's surprising how much information is lost in translation. It really is. It's like, yeah, it's remarkable. Half the time we spend trying to clarify what we're saying is actually what we're saying. Wow. But anyway, so coming back to the subject of, what's it called, my head? Coming back to the subject of how do we relate this message? How do we seed the idea? How do we get people out of the mindset of everything will be alright, everything is alright? It's like, ignorance is bliss and all that, and putting yourself, it's like almost like it's comforting, right? Yeah, we've all been there. I'll have a day off and put the TV on, put a game on, pass the time, put the TV on and all that. pass the time, in ignorance, trying to forget about the world burning outside, right? And I realize we have some part to play in all of it. Everyone has a part to play in everything, obviously. Everything's connected, everyone influences each other. We all cogs in the machine, in a sense. But, we have to zero down to the individual, right? Come back down to ourselves. Could I be better? Of course, I could be better. Everyone can make improvements in some way or another. It's about wanting to do it. It's about the sacrifice of doing it. Obviously everything has a knock-on effect. So let's say I like to play football or something, for example. That obviously then would subtract time from other things, obviously. But in the same way, if I was to stop playing football on a Saturday or Sunday, whatever, then that time can also then go and be dedicated into doing something else. Obviously, this makes sense, right? So it's always about knock-on effects. You do something, someone else is affected by it, including ourselves, obviously. So that's one thing that's always been confusing and aggravating, and all the other words that you could associate with that aggravation and stuff. But how do you convey a message, or how do you get a message across to people when everyone's an individual? Everyone's requires different communication. For me, in my conversion or my realization, my salvation, all that kind of thing, it had to come down to evidence for me personally. I needed the evidence to say, yes, what you believe in is 100% correct. No messing about. 100% correct. No doubt, because I myself, I'm not about to waste. It has to be 100%, right? I'm not going to waste if it was, say so, that this was our only time around in existence, and evolution, and whatever other wild presumptions about existence are out there. People that just zero in on life, in a sense, or people that just zero in on, hey, this is how I think existence is, so I'm gonna live like this. It's like, you think you better know, mate. You better know. Why are you talking about you think? Yeah. Or someone told me, It's like, yeah, sure. If that's how you want to gamble your existence, as someone told me, and you think, then crack on, in a sense. That's a bit harsh for sure. But so yeah, where do you start then? When it comes down to trying to get the information across, it's like, it just can be frustrating when you. So I suppose maybe the first step would be trying to gauge, or fish for what it takes. Probably just ask the individual, what would it take for you realize or to accept that there is a supreme creator, you know. There is a supreme being that brought everything into existence, including you and me and all that. And they could be like, whoa, they'll need to speak to me in here. A lot of people say that. They want to like, oh, I'd like them to speak to me. And it's like, you want God to come over and like show himself to you and speak to you. One, that's a bit ambiguous of yourself, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a bit, you know, it's fair enough, okay? It's a bit, oh, you know, creator of all existence, come here and present yourself so I can believe in you, you know what I mean? It's a bit, or what's the next one? Scientists? Yeah, oh, I need evidence of the science, popular science or whatever, you know. And this is where the biggest problem is. Back in the day, people would think you were a nutter. You tell them that there's no God. I'm with Jim here. He's a friend of mine and Steve's that we have mentioned before in some of the previous videos. But yeah, we were just discussing how, you know, some people I've been speaking to and on Discord, you know, and I was just trying to like clue them in, I suppose you could say, isn't it? You could say clue them in. You know, it's not exactly. But anyway, I was just trying to wake up the hunger to look for the truth at the end of the day. You know, because I spoke to him a few days ago about it all, and then they kicked me out of their Discord, and told me to shut up because we don't want to hear about God in this Discord. Hey, this is a gaming Discord, not a God Discord. And, you know, I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, actually, I was trying to speak to. Because I was trying to speak to another friend privately, first off, about it. Mr. Pitch, if you're watching. And then he came into the room. Because I was like, oh, I'll wait for you in Discord. Discord's a chat thing. Come here. Everyone can get in and chat together. You know, I've managed to get Jim on Discord now as well. The Disciple, he's got a Discord. I'll get you on that later as well. And a few other ones. But anyway, it's a discussion platform. Originally, I think was for games, but you know, now with all COVID and whatnot, then everyone's going. You know, you got Zoom, you've got video calls, right? So I was like, "Yo, Mr. Pitch, I'll speak to you. You know, when you get online, etc." You know, I didn't want to scare him off and tell him what it was about off the bat, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was like, I'll speak to you later, Pitch.
All your books ready.
Yeah,
Dumb.
like he doesn't know what's going on. So I'm waiting for him in one of the voice rooms, in one of the discussion rooms, all right? And while I'm in there's a couple of other people. I was like, let me know, Pitch, when you come online, and then we can have a chat. So I'm in there. And we're just talking games, I suppose, and they're going on about some games and some other nonsense. I don't know what they're going on about, you know. But waiting for an opportunity, innit? On the sideline, it's like. Anyway, so then Pitch walks in. Well, no, he comes into the room, you know, and it's like, hey, how's it going and stuff. And we start talking about games for a bit first and whatnot, and then I can't remember, I probably initiated it, but I was like, most likely, and then most likely I was like, did you get that video I sent you? Because he showed interest. You know, these people, they always show like they're not intelligent, but they're logical at the very least. You know, you will use logic. You tell people you use logic, isn't it? That's what they tell. Everyone claims that. Ask someone. innit?
Yeah.
Do you use logic? Yeah.
At the end of the day, we just react on our emotions without realising it.
Exactly. That is a big player in it, and that is. I think we're going to come back onto that emotional side. Put a pin in that one, definitely. And then, well, yes, it is true. Let's just actually, when you start discussing stuff emotionally, in the equation or the fact that there might be an actual creator, and that starts to hit your mind and it starts to sink in, then this may take time. It might be immediately or it might be later on the next day, whatever. But then it starts to dawn on you, possibly, that, oh, actually, I may have to answer for something to someone at some point. Oh, damn. I always thought maybe I'll just do what I want and then just go to sleep at the end and it'll all be cushy. You know what I mean? That's what, I to be honest, people would like that to be the case in some senses, because it's almost like people have this perception that God's some evil, not evil, but like super good, that he's gonna, smack anyone down that says boo. You know what I mean? It's like if I play some game or if I watch some movie that God doesn't like, he's gonna smite me down and that's my chance gone. You know what I mean? I can't measure up to the requirements, and that's true. No one can, and that's the whole point of it, is that no one can fulfill the requirements to be in the presence of God. And that's why we have to realize about Christ, because Christ was the out. He's the way to get out of that conundrum, that predicament, all right? So if that's the case, then how easy is that? Christ has got this gift that, in an easy sense, he's got a gift of immortality, salvation, or whatever you want to describe it as, that he's offering anyone for the taking. It's like all you have to do is accept it. Job done. But for some reason, well, we know what reasons, people have been brainwashed, and the crusade, the Catholic Church has unfortunately played a big part in the negativity towards Christianity, and a lot of other churches, and even the level below the churches is the people, because the people are the issue. They're the ones that are pushing the negative agendas of their selfishness, etc. But coming back to emotional side of things was, what was I saying? That about destroying you destroy someone's world when you bring them to the truth, because all their, how did you describe it? The box, like we live in a box in a building or something, and when someone starts cluing you in, someone's coming up to your world with a wrecking ball and they're destroying it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because we've both been there, You've been there? Yeah. I've been there. You just think, oh damn, my whole world's gonna change, my whole life's gonna change, because initially it's like, yes, how can it not change? It has to change in the sense of you'll see things differently, you'll see things more clearly, and it frees you up. I think I've become more free with the knowledge of that truth. What do you reckon? Do you think how do you feel about knowing?
Yeah, I think
It frees you up a bit more, doesn't it? You don't get so obsessed about life and death. Yeah, I feel anyway. That's a big player in this COVID thing, is that so many people are worried about their lives because they are agnostic atheists. They think this is the only life they have in this game we call life, or life we call a game or whatever. We think, in games you got 20,000 unlimited lives pretty much, and you just press reset and you're done. If you don't believe in a higher being, no matter what being you want to say it is, I suppose, then you only have the one shot here, unless you want to subscribe to reincarnation, which is absurd, because eventually when the universe is wiped out, there's going to be nowhere else to respawn into. You're going to be done anyway, so what's the point? So yeah, it does adjust your mentality for sure, but it's in a positive way. There is no negative outcomes to to discovering the truth of creation, reality, your existence, you know. Yeah. So yeah, emotionally, if you want to shut down, you know, anyone wants to start talking to you about God, you just shut down. You're like, no, I don't want to hear it, pal. You know why? Because it takes you to places you don't want to go. It's like, oh, well, I'm not a good person, mate. I don't want to have Christ dangled in my face telling me all the bad things that I do and that. It's like, well, no one does, you know. No one wants to be finger pointed at them and stuff. But the thing is, that is key, because only when you come face to face with that and realize maybe there is a problem, that you can seek a solution, right? Maybe, I don't know, I might be chatting breeze or something, but I'm just thinking out loud as well. I'm logical, and I use reason in my day-to-day life. I like information they tell you, you know, and it's like, well, do you really? Because whenever anyone presents anything to you, you want to shut down. You know, you don't want to, even if it's something you don't agree with, even if it's something you're against or something you don't know, you don't understand, you listen to it, because that's how you gain information. If you're always going over the same information, what new are you going to learn? Nothing, yeah?
Well, as they say, you can take a horse to water.
Yes, you can take the horse to water. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yes, and that is true, you know. But you can put its head underwater, can't ya? And then you'll either drink or drown. Anyway, coming back to, yeah, take a horse to water. Yes, but it's before that the horse has got to be willing to follow. Yeah, no, you have to be able to lead the horse. If the horse is like, I'm dying of thirst, and I'm like, well, I'll lead you to some water, and it's like, no, then it's like, I can't even lead you to the water, yet alone get you to drink any, you know. So this is it, you know, people shut down, and maybe I'm going about it all the wrong way, you know. I ain't got the time to, and we haven't got the time to be all pussyfooting about people, yeah. Things are coming serious now, you know, and it might not be what we all think it is, but whatever it is, it's all leading up to it anyway, and, you know, things need to get tightened down. You know, is a could possibly last chance stuff. You know, if there is a rapture, you want to be in the rapture. If you're not in the, if there is a rapture, you want to be in it, I'm telling you. Because everything after that, then you just maybe even flicking a coin after that, because some people will be still saved after, but a lot of people won't. So I'd just rather not gamble, to be honest. So if there's any people out there you want saved, yeah, you best get onto their case now. Or else they ain't going nowhere. Well, they're going somewhere. Just not places they want to go, or we want them to go. There ain't places anyone wants to go, I'll tell you that. Even the devil himself wants to go there, Lucifer. But we all have a free will. Yes, we all have a decision. So make a decision. And not making a decision is still making a decision. You know, isn't it?
Chosen not to make it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, if you want to gamble on the mercy of our Creator, in the sense of, oh, maybe He'll just let it slide because I didn't know. Well, if He says, well, you had ample opportunity to find out, innit? How many times did you, like, you know, you see, the thing about salvation is it's instantaneous, all right? As soon as you can declare, and I can tell you the procedure of how to be saved, but it won't mean anything, you know, unless you go through it. But you have to acknowledge who Christ is, accept that He's going to die. Well, He has died, but He's going to give you your, what you call it, your salvation. So He's going to pay for it, you know, when we die. So we inherit His clean slate. So yeah, going through salvation and stuff, you can say about it, but it's, I unless you're going through it and feel it in your soul, I suppose, your heart, your soma, then but you know, step one is find out, you know, I suppose, acknowledge, you know, once you start seeking, it's like the saying, seek and you'll find, because you really will. And then once you accept it, you'll see the next natural step of the whole process is, one, you'll be thankful for sure. I'm extremely thankful for the abundant blessings that are bestowed upon me and everyone else that is in Christ. And then once you do all the steps, you're saved, you're done, you know, your passport's stamped, as some people say, and you know, you don't have to worry about that in a sense any longer. It doesn't mean just sit back and, you know, not saying you can't, but I think everyone's heart in the end starts to get pressed into, you'd like to show some sort of appreciation in many different ways, you know. Some people start doing things like Sabbath keeping, and you know, they don't eat certain foods because of, and it just gets more and more technical, but that can also be a problem, because then people start to feel like they need to pay back or reimburse, or, you know, it's like if you give someone a gift, an expensive, lavish gift, you know, they may feel like, oh, now I've got to be super nice to this person. You know, if I get him a present around Christmas, it's going to have to be next level, you know what I mean? So you start feeling like, oh, I've got to do all these things now, because this person's gift they've given me is unmatchable. How am I supposed to match that? You know, but we're not expected to. We're not expected to, you know. All he wants is us to acknowledge him and be thankful for that, and that's it, full stop. You know, and secondly to that, I'd say spread the message, innit? Tell everyone else about this gift that you received, and give them the same opportunity to receive that gift, I suppose. You know, sharing's caring. Yeah, so share the message, everyone out there. So guys, bit of editing there, but I had to stop and I do a couple of things. Now I'm off to the shops. I've gone to see my brother and my mum. That's my brother at the back, Andrew. And yeah, so just to continue where we were, which I can't really remember right now.
As you were saying before about train of thought, if you get off that train.
Once you lose the train, it's difficult to get back on. But I thought I'd introduce you all to Andrew.
Hi.
And he's a Christian as well, and yeah. Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself? How long have you been a Christian?
How long have I been a Christian?
How long have you been a believer in Christ, like proper, not just like...
Well, probably the last, 4 years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So still relatively new to, yeah. But we've grown up with it, you know.
Oh yeah, from family background.
Yeah, we were lucky that, our mum has been quite a devout, in a sense, Christian, hasn't she?
Yeah.
So we were introduced to it that way, but there is a point where you make your own decision in life to follow, you know what I mean? It's like...
Well, yeah. Like, I suppose with a family background as well.
I might have to speak up a little bit.
Speak up.
Just a little bit. I don't know if they can hear you. With family background?
Yeah, with the family background, I was saying sometimes you grow up, like Joe said, that you have to take your own decisions sometimes, and sometimes probably not the right decisions.
Oh yeah, we all make right and wrong decisions. Yeah.
And drift away.
Mistakes.
Exactly.
I suppose it's all about the learning process, isn't it?
Yeah, and just because you drift and stuff doesn't mean you lose your salvation or whatever. You know, it's just trials and tribulations. You know, we all go through learning experiences, and you know what we think is
right at the time.
Yeah, we might be going through something and thinking, oh, why am I suffering with this or that or whatever? But at the end of the day, when you look back at it, you end up, more often than not, you're thankful for going through those hard times because it's made you stronger or something.
Say as well, sometimes you have to go through adversity.
It didn't kill you, so it made you stronger. Adversities, yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you have to go through adversities to learn more about salvation, really. I think.
Oh, yeah. It's only when you're in the sea that you want to learn how to swim, innit?
Well, yeah. So yeah, I always say, you know, especially I say with adversities, it's a learning process. Sometimes you need to go through these to find salvation. These trials come not to hamper our belief, but to strengthen our belief in Jesus, in the Bible. You know, it says, I can't remember the exact verse, but
yeah, just paraphrase it.
It's basically Jesus says, you know, as the world hated me, it's gonna hate you if you believe in me. So
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? If it persecuted me, it's gonna persecute you. So He never promised a smooth ride. That salvation was gonna be easy.
It's easy to get, but it's difficult to live. You know, it's easy to receive your salvation. You know, I believe. You know, I think we have different theology and stuff. Yeah, and we all do. But you know, with family and
I think
you know,
now it's more easier to believe than it was before because of what's happening with COVID and earthquakes in various places. You know, you point someone to prophecies, but they cannot.
You think so?
No. I think it's probably easier now than it was to believe because, like I said, look at prophecies. It talks about.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Earthquakes, pestilences.
If they're willing to be led to the water, you know, we were saying earlier, but you can lead the horse to water, but you
can't make it drink.
Yeah. But you can't make it drink, but some people won't even let you lead them to the water, so they won't even let you talk about stuff, or they won't let you tell them about prophecies coming true and how every prophecy in the Bible is fulfilled, you know.
But that's where prayer comes into it then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just ask the Holy Spirit to send
prayer
you to the right ones. This is one thing.
It's just when people say that, it always feels, I know it's powerful and I know it works and everything and I know it's doctrine and it's spirit, but when you're like, oh, I'm struggling and I can't make my rant, and someone goes, oh, pray about it. You know what I mean? And it's like, why you mean pray about it?
It's also prayer, yes, we need to pray.
It is powerful,
no
don't get me
doubt,
wrong.
but I think
I'm not mocking it anyway, but
prayer as well, it needs to be some action, you know what I mean? You need to also be someone's miracle. You know what I mean? If you've got finances to help someone, help them out. Don't just say, yes, brother, I'll pray for you. And
yeah, exactly.
Go back home and
put your feet up and have your steak.
Yeah. You need to, if you can help.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not all about...
Within reason, innit? Don't obviously...
And this is what I was going to say about... One gift I think everyone needs in life. Yeah, they're talking about preaching, being an apostle, being a prophet, but the greatest gift I think we need all is spiritual discernment.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
To figure
see
out
who needs help. You know what I mean? Because not everyone is willing, like you say, to have that help. They could be pretending per se to say, oh yeah, I believe. You know what I mean? I need, and then you help them out. Then you find out they go and spend it on something they don't even really need.
Sounds a bit like Ron.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, with prayer, sometimes you need to be a miracle for someone else, not just to say, yes, brother, I'll pray for you, and then leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they just need someone to sort of vent, to talk to, if you know what I mean. You need to be able to be there for someone, whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean. As long as you're there,
It's
you're
this day and age, though, that's bygones, that kind of mentality, unfortunately, isn't it?
And then again, it leads to prophecy, and what the Bible says is just that in the last
the
days,
love of many will grow cold.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like, but yeah, this is where the problem is, education, and I think as well, parenting as well. But we're talking about unbelievers, you know what I mean?
He's always losing his wallet, that one.
It's always about, we're talking about how those that haven't had the opportunity, you know what I mean? Like you said, we're lucky enough, we had the background of our mom, especially our mom being in
dedicated Christian, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about those that didn't have
that,
opportunity.
yeah.
But it goes down to that point where, you know what I mean, we need to pray for these people. And like I said, yeah, we don't know how long we've got left on this earth, you know what I mean? But I believe it's very soon, because of the signs are falling rapidly. But at the end of the day, it's someone's willingness to, and this is another thing, is people don't want to acknowledge that, yeah, this could be right, because they know then, I don't know how to put it, they don't want to acknowledge their mistakes, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They want to say that they're always true, you know what I mean? You got those people that think they're never wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
they just want to be right all the time, and exactly like you're saying, they won't acknowledge or won't admit to being wrong because of pride.
Especially if they...
It's the pride, isn't it?
Yeah, pride. And especially if they're like a top scientist, you know what I mean? Look at all these,
but this
like
is the
Elvis
problem.
Presley, look at him. Where did he start off?
The scientists are all saying it now, though.
Yeah, but they might be saying, they're saying it, but are
they
teaching it the right way?
They're not teaching it, but they're all saying it, and now they're laughing at the other scientists that aren't saying that creation. You know, the ones that still believe the universe is infinite and, you know, evolution and stuff. They're a laughing joke in the scientific community, you know. And that's what. So if you think of that, it would come down to public. The public will believe what the scientists were saying back then, but they don't want to believe him now.
And I think
get any for me at the shopping.
They won't believe in what the scientists are saying now, because they don't like where that road might lead to, isn't it?
And this is another thing, I don't like that sacrifice word, if you know what I mean. And I don't know, because they deem themselves they're living a good life, you know what I mean? They seem...
but it depends on, it all comes down to how a person interprets information, unfortunately. You know, because you can have a group of people all read a piece of information, or be told a piece of information, or even see something, and everyone will have different outlooks or views on it, you know. So, but luckily that's why we've got the Bible, because at least with the Bible we have a foundation of truth, and we can verify without a question of doubt that it's a solid anchor that we can all build off, in my opinion. Yeah, it's like when the 10 Commandments come down. It's written in the Bible that the commandments were given so people would sin more. Alright? So sin would abound. That's what it says. And why would it abound? If you think about it, why would people sin more? Because the commandments were put in place. Because they didn't know they were sinning beforehand. In a sense, there were some things they were doing in ignorance. They didn't know. So now that they knew, they could tally up and say, oh, actually, there's a lot more sin than we thought. It makes people think, okay, well, there is a problem then. Yeah, okay, He's told us there's a problem, but luckily he's also told us there's a solution. You know, but people don't stop to think things, and anyway, we shall be back in a moment, guys.
Bye.